Well, good evening, everyone. Beautiful people, my peeps. I have quite a following going, which I'm pleased about, that there are more and more people interested in these 21 days. Thank you for sharing these videos, which I can't thank you enough, really. The more people start to know about, hi, welcome, Vanessa. Happy 4th of July, by the way, for all my American friends. Enjoy the celebrations. So the more people know about the importance of how to breathe, and it's two different worlds. When you breathe, shallow breathing through your chest and deep consciously breathing, they shouldn't even have the same word in it, breathing, because shallow breathing isn't even breathing from what I've discovered. There is nothing happening there. Many doctors have actually called it futile breathing. So I'm really pleased that you're sharing these videos, sharing this information. And I know the kind of response you possibly can get from people when you say, are you breathing correctly? Oh yeah, I breathe every day. I breathe, you know? So now with all this information that the book that I read grabbed my attention, but then the curiosity got even more and more. So I started researching even more and more. So be sure to read the notes of today, because I've got some nice, pretty little diagrams in there. So you actually get a sense of how big your lungs are and from where they start and what shape they are and what's actually happening. When you have a visual, you become more aware of when you're actually breathing, or you can actually visualize that energy going in and out. So I put some fantastic diagrams there, which I hope you enjoy. Do read the notes. I make them as short as possible, as concise as possible, just keywords, so you don't have to read pages and pages and pages. They're just a short PDF file of more or less of what has been said in the video. So you can just, maybe after a week or so, scroll back, have a read, refresh that memory of yours, and then reappreciate, rejuvenate yourself with that information, and motivate yourself once again to get into that breathing habit, that routine. Okay, I know that after a few days, you sort of forget about it and just, get back into your daily routines, and the memory of breathing has gone. No. This is something that you need to remember every single day until it becomes such an ingrained habit that your body knows how to ask you for breath, that you're consciously aware that of how important, imperative it is to breathe every single day. So I enjoy preparing the notes for you. I hope you use them. I hope you share them. I enjoy showing up every day for about half an hour and just inspiring you with more and more information, not to scare you, to inspire you to start breathing, all right, correctly, profoundly, consciously, deeply. It is important. So welcome to everyone. I'm going to start today. I'm going to follow more or less the notes, because there's just, I don't want to miss not even one of them. You need to know all of them. And today I've enjoyed my day at home preparing these notes and getting myself hyped up on how I'm going to introduce this information to you. Maybe not introduce it, but just to bring the point across, that it really sinks in, because preparing them got me all fired up and excited. So I'm hoping it does the same for you. So let's start. The fuel that runs your body is oxygen, and we have stated that for the past week, if not more. And it creates energy, which is the key word in all of this. All right, energy. Your body is a machine making energy. Okay, it just makes energy and makes energy, and it creates more energy. But how are we using this energy? All right, it's important. It's important to know how the body is using it and how the mind is using it. Today, we're going to emphasize more on how the body is using it. All right? So, your body cannot function without oxygen. Even if you if you eat the healthiest foods every day, you're on diets. Can you imagine what you're doing to your body when you're on a diet and you're not breathing correctly? Okay, you're putting it under more and more strain. All right. So if you have set your mind to be on a diet, then you must be breathing consciously, because by breathing consciously and being on a diet, meaning now you're looking at what foods you're putting into your body and what you're drinking. So you're going to eliminate certain things and you're going to moderate those quantities. Fine, great. But if you're not breathing, it's not going to help. Because then, even though you eat the fanciest little salads and tofu and whatever, but if you're not giving it oxygen, what's going to break it down? What breaks it down? Then what gets rid of the toxins? It just keeps accumulating. Even if you're drinking water, water is 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Hydrogen without oxygen becomes fat. Rest for pause for the moment. Exactly. So it's not the foods that you eat that puts on weight. It's that your waste mechanism system, 70% of that waste it needs your breath to get rid of it. So it's not what you eat. You need the oxygen to break it down. All right. So let me going too far ahead. Okay. So your lungs are the tanks that hold the oxygen. All right. It doesn't stay there very long. Listen to this. As soon as you inhale the air, all right, there's this tiny little balloon-like sort of bunch of grapes. They have a very fancy name. Let me see if alveoli. All right. Anyway, fancy name. They look like a bunch of grapes. Cute little things at the bottom of your lungs. They're down at the bottom. Okay. So these beautiful little grapes, they filter the oxygen into your bloodstream, okay? So without them, so just imagine if air is not going all the way down, they're the ones that filter the oxygen into your bloodstream. So your whole body then can get oxygen from one tip of your toe up to the tip of your head. So it is very important that this oxygen gets distributed throughout your body, okay? So these little balloon grape types, they dump the oxygen into the blood, and then they suck out the carbon dioxide, and then they shift it back to your lungs to get expelled out in your exhale. That's why it's important that your exhale is always longer than your inhale. Okay, because these little great bunches of grapes at the bottom have so much work to do. They've got to grab the oxygen, place it into the bloodstream, then they got to suck out the carbon dioxide, bring it back into the lungs, and then you exhale. That's why you get dizzy if it's the other way around. All right? Isn't this exciting? I know how things work. So the heart is the chief in charge of delivering the blood to the rest of the body. Obviously, the bunch of grapes, alveoli, they dump the oxygen into the bloodstream, but then it's the heart that pumps it out, okay? So your heart needs to be rejuvenated every day. It needs that energy. It needs to be strong and get everything rolling, okay? Can you imagine when you're overweight, that heart can't pump as fast as it's supposed to get all the oxygen to the rest of your body. So it's imperative that we take care of this heart, we take care of our lungs, and we breathe, okay? That's why children are so full of energy, because when they come into this world, they're perfect, okay? They're hyper, they're breathing because they're running, and so all this energy comes in, and now they're full of energy. You can't get a child to sit down for 5 minutes because it's got all this energy and it wants to do things, okay? So they breathe without knowingly, their body is asking them to move so then they can breathe. So the more they move, the more they're breathing. But then the older you get, you end up spending 8 hours at school sitting on a chair. You see where this is all going, okay? So even if you're sitting on a chair for 8 hours in the office at school, you need to become aware that you still need that oxygen, even though you're not moving the body. Just taking a deep breath. Teach your children while they're at school, they're listening to these lessons and they're trying to concentrate. The more they breathe, the more clarity they'll have. Okay? Let's not put them into such a claustrophobic kind of state. They're already not enjoying it because they have to sit down. They'd rather be out and, exercising and playing with their friends and doing some movements or not. Instead, they're sitting there. Teach your children how to breathe. Just 10 deep breaths. Get that body moving, okay? So, sorry, I went off the track. So, what happens without sufficient oxygen to your body? Now, few people in the world, athletes, singers, can't think of anyone else, when they breathe, they take in 17 pounds, which is about approximately 8 liters of air per breath. Okay? They can take in 8 liters of oxygen with one breath. Okay? They've exercised it, they practice it, they are aware, they know they have to breathe. Okay, it's something that I met a little girl the other day. She's 10 years old. She does drama classes, and she said that her teacher does 20-minute meditation with them, and he teaches them how to breathe. Hooray! She's 10 years old. She does drama, and it's in the lesson how to breathe. This is fantastic. I was really, whoa. Okay. So, but the majority of us, the 9 out of 10 people, okay, 7.5 billion people on this planet, 9 out of 10, basically nearly all of us, okay, not aware of this information, we shallow breathe. So what do we get? We get about 2 or 3 pints, which is not even a liter of oxygen into our lungs per breath. So that means we're operating at 20%. This beautiful energy mechanism that we have that makes energy, we're giving it 20%. Now, you don't expect your car to run for 10 hours a day like we do, like headless chickens doing things on 20% of the fuel it can take. No, if it needs to drive for 10 hours, it needs to be full. And your phone, it can't be on for 10 hours a day, working at it, sending messages, looking up things with 20% battery. But with the car and the phone, without the fuel, it just stops working. You, on the other hand, don't stop working. You start to decline. Okay, because the body's intelligent. You really need to go to an extreme to literally stop working. And you know what stop working really means, okay? Not to say the word, but you start to decline. Muscles, nerves, cells, brain, your vital organs start to decline. They don't communicate as well as they used to. Okay? Well, we won't go down there. But I just wanted you to ponder. Are you seriously okay with the fact that this beautiful mechanism called your body can operate at 20%? I don't think so. So your lungs are like a pyramid shape, okay? I've put in the diagram in the notes so you can really have a look, but it's sort of like they start off small here and they go all the way down. Believe it or not, it goes all the way down to just above your navel, because then you've got your diaphragm down here. So the bigger part of your lungs are down at the bottom where the bunch of grapes are, okay? And that's where your blood vessels are much more, there's a word for it, I'll look it up now. But so your lungs are like a pyramid shape. So at the top part, the blood flow is much as like half a teacup, sort of. There is more at the flow at the bottom of the lungs. So that's why it's important to take a deep breath in so they can get to the bottom. I think there's like 3 parts of lobes. Like you got the upper part, the middle part, and the lower lobe, okay? When you shallow breathe, like most of us do, minimal oxygen gets down to the bottom where the alveoli are. And most of the power of the blood capillaries, that's the word I was looking for, the blood capillaries are. So you've got like 10 times much the power down at the bottom of your lungs than at the top. Okay, so it's important. The shallow chest breathing, no good. No good for nobody. all right? They need to get all the way down here. You've got a pyramid to fill up, full of air. They need to get first down at the bottom. That's the important thing. That's why 10 good breaths really fill them up so they can keep you going for a while. But if you can really get into the habit of deep breathing consciously as often as possible. So now you can appreciate that for decades you have not been providing sufficient oxygen, okay? Your energy creating machine, the body, you didn't know, fine, but now you do. But now just give it the appreciation now that you know for decades, okay? At least in my case, maybe 3 decades. When I was younger, I was sort of, we were all like giving us up, but let's say 3-4 decades, more or less. I don't know everyone watching this your age, but let's comfortably say about 3 or 4 decades, we have not been giving ourselves the oxygen it deserves, okay? There's a lot to clean up now, but don't fear, we have a plan. So when your cell's only getting 20% of oxygen, you can imagine just how much they're struggling. And I would just like to tell you more or less what we've gone through, me included, what we've gone through. And then at the end of this, we'll make a plan. All right. So our cells have probably got loaded with toxins, which then slows down our digestion system. And as we spoke about in the other video before about our metabolism, okay, and could eventually cause cancer, heart disease, and other awful things I don't want to talk about because we're not going there because we know how to breathe now, okay? So when you breathe, as mentioned, 70% of the waste, okay, which is toxins, which are like acidity, acid, and carbon dioxide needs to be expelled. When these things do not get expelled, we're literally polluting our own body, okay? So what is the way? Carbon dioxide and toxins. And if they're not removed, they will either pollute you or they'll be turned into fat, which is even more like toxins into fat, stored, heaviness, lethargy. Oh, life is terrible. Okay, in a nutshell. So your body tries to store it. Your body tries to store fat as far away as possible from your vital organs. At least it tries to. Okay, so obviously it goes into the arms, the belly. That's my favorite. The belly, the waist, thighs, your rear end, any kind of fat tissues it can find. The tops of your toes or your fingers. Anywhere you can just store stuff. It's like a hoarder. Like things just, I want more, and where can I put this? You end up finding, a refrigerator in the bathroom or just anywhere it can store it, all right? So hoarders, try and imagine we've come to like a place that we've just stored stuff because we don't know what to do with it. And now we have a plan. Now we know how to breathe. What are we going to do? But just to give you an idea of what's been happening for the past 3 or 4 decades, okay, you cannot blame yourself. You cannot blame your body for looking the way it does because we were unaware of a simple, if that was the first thing they would have told me when I came into this world, my first lesson, it is imperative that you breathe, and made me take it seriously. I mean, really, we'd all be different people by now, wouldn't we? Okay, so your body tries to store fat as far away as possible from your vital organs, but obviously, if you don't give this information, you don't have this information, obesity at some point, it needs to start storing that fat next to vital organs, and then that's when the problems actually occur. So hopefully no one's at that point, but if you do know anyone, give them this information. Breathing, I know it's hard to believe, but share these videos with them. Okay, so apart from the fat, the other problem is that your blood chemistry starts to become a bit screwy, okay? Because toxins have a high percentage of acidity. And what happens in your body, because it's intelligent, it's wise, okay? What it starts to do, it starts to retain water because at least it can start to neutralize the level of acidity. And so now you're feeling bloaty and more heavy, which then makes you even breathe more shallow. Okay, it's like a self-perpetuating thing. The less you breathe, because it just becomes heavier and heavier and heavier to carry all this weight with you and to feel so bloated. All right. By the way, the Kung Fu breath I was telling you about, it really does wonders for bloatedness, because it relaxes the belly muscles. So I forgot to mention that to you. Right. So the moment you eliminate all these toxins from your body, you can begin to work. You can begin working at the process of food. Okay. So the more toxins you have, so the priority is eliminate toxins and then process food. Hello, wait a minute. Whoa, that blew me away. So we've got 70% of the energy, of our energy created, goes to the the maintenance of the body. And the first priority is to eliminate waste and then process food. But the processing of food creates the energy. Whoa, are you getting the sense of this? So if we haven't been breathing properly for decades, so now we start breathing, the first thing it's doing, it's eliminating waste. And you're thinking, why am I not losing weight faster? Well, hello, it needs to break that down. So please, guys, be patient with this. If it's taken you 33 decades to accumulate and it's storing, even if this takes you a year or two, it's like being given this warehouse full of stuff and they say to you, you can have it. And you say, full of this stuff? What am I can't use it for another year or two. Well, once you've cleared it out, now it's all yours to do whatever you want with it. And this is what I'm saying. Now I'm giving you this information. Let your body get rid of these toxins. So, and have some patience. Not patience, just enjoy the process. Become appreciative and really unconditionally loving to this body. It's doing the best it can with what you've provided it. So I really, really want you to start, at least start. Because if the mentality is, oh, it's going to take me so long to lose all of this weight, oh, why even bother? No, it's just going to get worse. So start breathing. Give yourself all the time your body needs to find that balance again. Please. Your health is my concern. And your enthusiasm, the way you appreciate this beautiful body. All right? And what it knows how to do. So the moment you eliminate all those toxins, your body can then begin working and processing the food you give it effortlessly. All you need to do is start breathing properly, eliminate those toxins and lose that weight so you can start allowing more oxygen into your lungs. So that's the thing. You can only start allowing more and more oxygen because your body's only used to taking in about 1 liter of oxygen at a time. Athletes know how to take in 8 liters at a time. So how do you go from taking in 1 to 8? You need to start loosening up those cells. You've got work to do. It's a whole workout they need to do. So that's why I say these exercises, a little bit of a time. Don't overdo it because, 10 breaths in the morning, 10 around lunchtime, and 10 before you go to bed, and a couple here and there in between. It's perfect. It's perfect. You're getting used to it. Okay, we're getting into the second week now. Can you imagine what it's going to feel like when these videos end after 21 days? Consistency. And I'll probably keep on sending you reminders, but what would it look like after 90 days? Okay, 3 months, after 6 months, after a year? You're going to be completely different people. You're going to be completely different people. The whole chemistry of your body is going to be different. The energy, the new energy, the focused energy that you're giving to your body, the way you're looking at it and imagining it from the inside out. I'm excited for all of us, really. So today, before I end, I know I've gone a bit over time. I want to leave you with one. Has anyone got any questions? Let me just check. Much. I don't see all the. Thank you guys I am enthusiastic. I'm really excited. Yes. Before I leave you, I've put in the notes. It's called the goddess breath, which I think it is a perfect name for this. Okay, I enjoy going outside a lot, so I thought I'd share this breath that I love doing. Okay, whenever we can, and then now it's summer, we can take our shoes off. Okay, so this breath is perfect. It's so when you go outside and you're appreciating the beauty of this planet, and we love to meditate outdoors as well. So take off your shoes if you can and find I don't know, grass or sand where you can really root your body in with that appreciation, and just widen your feet like shoulder length like that. All right, and then you close your eyes and you take a beautiful deep breath in, and then on the exhale it's like beautiful big sigh. What I like to do is like the ballet kind of type. You put your hands up on the in and you sway them back down on the exhale. All right. Just that connection with the earth. Feel the power of your body, the magnificent appreciation for it. I mean, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the more I talk about what's happening inside, I can actually visualize it and see everything working enthusiastically. I sort of give eyes to my lungs and my eyes to just have that connection. And it really has changed a lot for me. It really, really has. I'm more aware when I'm holding my breath, and I'm like, I'm holding my breath? Why? Marie was, showing me some old photos from the past, and I'm just watching them. And then I realized that my belly's like this. I'm sucking in. What am I sucking in for? I'm like, I breathe. We don't even realize, we're not aware. We're in our heads. We're focused on the outside world. Let's give a bit of attention to what's actually creating the energy for us so we can become those powerful creators again. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the goddess breath. Introduce it every time you go out, and just connect with Mother Earth again. And I've enjoyed this. I don't even want to leave you today. Let me just check. Anyone else? Any questions? Any experience? Oh, thank you so much, Marina. That's lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are all goddesses. Yes, absolutely. And I really hope that you find it in yourselves to start appreciating. The more energy you create, the more we declutter. Decluttering of from what's the toxins and the wastes and the fats. But also, it is so important. Tomorrow we'll start discussing. I've got a lovely lesson up for you tomorrow. When we declutter our thoughts, that is even more beautiful. And you find yourself as an empty shell, where now the life force, this energy, can actually move through you. I cannot wait for tomorrow. So I hope to see you here back again tomorrow. We did overlap a bit on the time, but I enjoy it so much. I love you all. Be good to yourselves. Bye.